Hi guys, I'm Ari and we're in the Lyme fight. Today we're going to be talking about testing for Lyme disease. Okay, so if you've been around or in the Lyme community for any amount of time, you know there is a lot of controversy surrounding the disease. One of the biggest reasons for that is the way the testing is done. You see, we can't actually test for the bacteria that causes Lyme itself. We can only test for the antibodies that our body uses to fight against them. Our bodies are amazing and make specific antibodies to fight off different parts of Borrelia, kind of like specialized weapons. Some antibodies will fight the outer protein, like the skin or the shell, and others will attack the inner parts. There are even special antibodies that will attack the protein that makes the bacteria resistant to fevers. How cool is that? And others attack Borrelia's genetic material to prevent it from reproducing. That means it stops it from multiplying and spreading all over and hiding again, making everything way worse. Some of these antibodies are specific to Borrelia and others aren't. The CDC Western blot test requires that you have 5 or more bands specific to Borrelia, or antibiotics, to have a positive Lyme result. This means you have to have 5 different antibodies all fighting Borrelia at one time to have a positive Lyme result. The IGeneX Western blot only requires you to have 2 or more bands to have a positive Lyme result. Most traditional doctors use the CDC Western blot test. However, that is not as sensitive as the other and can only detect early stage Lyme disease. Where the hard part comes in is interpreting your results. You see, Lyme disease is actually a clinical diagnosis, so it is more than just a positive result on the Western blot test. Most traditional doctors won't diagnose Lyme without a positive CDC Western blot result. My doctor says that even if you have 1 band specific to Borrelia, that's enough for a clinical diagnosis. That means you have to have Borrelia in your body. Another source of controversy on the CDC is that the CDC tests do not include 1 band specific to Borrelia, because it would be something that you would have in your body if you took the Lyme vaccine that was developed in the 1990s, but discontinued because it didn't work in the 2000s. The problem here is that if you didn't get the vaccine and had that band of bacteria, it would be really hard to get a diagnosis. One final controversy is whether or not these antibodies stay in your system long after treatment. If someone has been treated for Lyme disease and still has all the symptoms and retests, some doctors may say that these are just leftover antibodies and there is no longer an active infection, but the patient has post-Lyme disease syndrome. Others familiar with Borrelia's amazing ability to hide and defend itself would say that this is still an active Lyme infection. The truth is, we don't exactly know. Until we can come up with a better way to test for Borrelia, we will still have all of these questions. My advice would be find a good doctor who's familiar with Lyme disease and Borrelia, and give grace to the doctors who don't know these things, but smile and move on. As always, this is not medical advice. Talk to your doctor. But hopefully this information gives you the knowledge that you need to find a doctor who can help you. If you would like to see a video that breaks down the bands more specifically, let me know. I didn't want this one to get bogged down in technical details too much. If you haven't yet, take a look at the first 2 What is Lymes, and if you find these things helpful or encouraging, please consider liking and subscribing and sharing. I would also love to know where you're watching from, because apparently only about half of my viewers are from the United States, and it'd be really cool. So please let us know in the comments down below. Love you guys, and remember, you are not alone. Bye!
Sorry if this video was a little bit on the boring side. I was trying to get all the facts and information. Love you guys. See you next week.